One of the women from today, in fact, she said, when I'm struggling in the week, I think of this group and I draw strength. And that is like, then I know that it works. That's exactly what I wanted, was for women to draw strength from each other. When I became a mother in 2017, there was no space to go to be with other mothers, to explore this massive transition that I felt I was going through. I turned to books. Books were a massive solace for me. And in books I found the kind of more realistic picture of motherhood. Over time, I realised that I wanted to share this kind of knowledge that I'd gathered. So I got this small grant from Creative Scotland in 2019. I got this money to do a pilot of this thing I'd named the New Mothers Writing Circle. The way that I introduced it as this is the space that's about us rather than our babies. Our babies are here, crawling around in front of us. We're caring for them, feeding them, changing them, whatever. But actually this is about us as people, as women. And over time, something began to happen, which was these women started talking to each other, they started sharing their stories, they started writing. And so I went back to Creative Scotland, which has been amazing because it's allowed me to run 6 different groups across Glasgow. I've worked with women from all walks of life now and heard like really different stories of motherhood.
Yeah, the journey as part of the New Mothers Writing Circle has been phenomenal for me on a personal level. It's such a radical space to think about who you are as a mother, what this new identity is, and being able to process that experience through writing has been really, really impactful for me. But it's also been wonderful seeing how other people have grown and developed, and there are very few spaces, I think, where as mothers you're really seen and make those friendships in meaningful, lasting ways. Part of the group has been, a really impactful experience for both of us, I think.
A lot of other groups you're talking about the practicalities of motherhood, and I think this group allowed me to refocus a bit on like the philosophy and the values, like how do I want to raise her, what do I want her to see.
There's this peer-to-peer thing that happens. They begin listening to their own voice, they begin listening to their own creative voice. Each week is different. We talk about identity, we talk about culture and difference, and within that the power that mothers have to decide the culture that they want to have in their families. Encouraging these mothers to see themselves as powerful people who get to choose the culture that they bring their children up in, and how they will teach their children about the world, whether they accept the status quo, and accept the status quo of women especially, or whether they will choose a more sort of powerful way of bringing up their children, which hopefully through the workshops it gives voice to what they really feel, what their real experience of motherhood is, and with that grows confidence, grows, a creative voice, a journaling practice. They begin to realise that their voice is different from everyone else's and it's unique. They have a unique take on things. They're all coming with all their own experience.
I'm not someone that would have described myself as a writer, but I actually really, really enjoyed sharing my work, and it made me feel confident to go, maybe I can do this. I got some really nice feedback, and so now I feel like it's a practice that I can keep up for myself.
I was already in the middle of working on a novel when I fell pregnant, and I felt that I was going to have to give those things up to be the sort of mother that I wanted to be. And I realised when I came here that I actually didn't have to give up my writing, and in fact there was ways in my life to have space to be a good mum and a good writer.
I felt like you were always encouraged just to show up how you were. You could show up with a baby that was hungry or a baby that was tired, and it was just like immediate warmth. So you just got a cup of coffee and went and sat in the circle, and it was like a protective circle, so all the kids went in the middle and you could almost just kind of leave them to it, and you just sat and chatted and listened.
I just wrote about very, very simple moments that I had with Hania, and which would generally go unnoticed. But simple things like just sitting down with her and spending some time with her and then writing about it. It was something that was very, very different because you won't document moments like those.
I really enjoyed the writing prompt where we thought about people in our lives who are older people perhaps, and imagine what it would be like to be at their 9th birthday parties, and then also imagining what it would be like to be at your own baby's 90th birthday. What would that be like? Who will be there? What do you want the world to look like for them? And I think that was a really important piece of writing for me, because it helped me think about what being a mother and being part of a family is all about, intergenerationally. It was very important, I think, as part of thinking about legacy.
I think that they begin to realise that they are still in there, even though motherhood kind of wipes out your identity for many, many people. There is something of your old self still in there, and writing and reading and talking are ways of kind of reconnecting with that former self. Even though your old self is gone, this new self is kind of coming through, and and writing about that is a really wonderful way of kind of acclimatising yourself to this new identity.